Hello YouTube, Size17 here, but you can just call me Travis, and welcome back finally to another edition of Up Next on the Shelf, where we take a look at what's up next on the shelf. If you've been around long enough, 2 months ago, it was the last time I did one of these, so maybe you didn't even know I was doing these. But yeah, so I'm just going through my collection alphabetically. So far I've done the large packaging stuff, and then I did some splits. And now I'm finally into, well, I'm doing number. I got numbers today, and then after today, finally into the letters. At the beginning, I kind of, if you've been paying attention, this gap's actually been gone for the full 2 months. I took them off right after the last time I did a video, expecting to continue on, and I kind of told myself, you know what, you're kind of doing these a little too fast, and I was kind of slowing my roll on myself a little bit, and then just kept on putting it off for whatever reason. But that's okay. We're back now. So yeah, let's just do that. So yeah, I got 10 CDs and numbers. In the background here, we're listening to, I just showed this off yesterday, this is the debut full length from Vulture, the Guillotine, Killer Speed Metal from Germany. Just pay attention in the background and don't listen to me, listen to this instead. Killer stuff. Alright, first one's up. I got two from the same band. This is a band, I think they're from Italy. Yeah, I'm almost certain they're from Italy. Some Porno grind. This is time to Minuta Dreka. I'm not sure what that translates to. This is a band that, around the time I was first getting into grindcore, one of the bands that really struck my fancy was Cock and Ball Torture, and I was trying to find bands that sounded like them, and this was actually a pretty good sound-alike to Cock and Ball Torture. You know, kind of the gurgly vocals and the really catchy riffs. You know, not the super just like blast constantly. You know, there's a lot of groove going on. This band's not as good. This first one came out in 2006. It's called Let's Start a Porn in the Name of Gore. I'm not trying to show these off too closely because the artwork's kind of ridiculous and no one needs to see that. If you want to see it, you can look it up. This one came out 2015. It's called Porno, Bizzarro. This one is a lot better. I like this one a lot more. Particularly the first half. The last half is a lot of junk tracks for like 4 seconds. You know, just kind of bullshit tracks, in my opinion. But, you know, there's some good tracks on here. Blood Bukkake being probably my favorite. But yeah, this one, not as good. About half the tracks, there's 19 on here, about half the tracks are like samples and junk that could have just been part of the other tracks that aren't. So, yeah, this one, not as great. I think this is just two dudes. They kind of present themselves as more than just two guys, but I'm pretty sure it's two guys, but I don't know that for sure. This one was put on Half-Life Records. This one was put out on Bizarre Leprous Productions. Not familiar with either of those labels. But yeah, if you're into Porno grind, kind of Cock and Ball Torture style stuff, to Minuta Dreka, might be worth your time. All the stuff I'll link below. So if you want to listen to it, you can. Next up, if you've watched my channel, you know that I'm all over the map when it comes to genres. This album is no different. This is a band you probably all know of, if nothing else, for their single, 3 Doors Down. That is the reason why I purchased it. I really do like the song Kryptonite. They had another one on here that was a single too that I liked. Duck and Run, maybe? Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, Kryptonite, I do like that song. If you follow or are aware of a guy on YouTube, Erock, Calderon, he recently did a cover of 3 Doors Down. Really good stuff if you're into, like, you know, Ingwe style soloing and that kind of stuff. You should listen to it, watch. I'll link that to that too. So yeah, 3 Doors Down. This came out like 99. I know I was in high school. Yeah, 99. Nice. Yeah, 3 Doors Down. Don't need to talk about that one anymore. Next up, two from the same band. I guess this is sort of like, I would say, traditional heavy metal, maybe a little metalcore, mostly in just one half of the vocals. Maybe power metal a little bit. 3 Inches of Blood, this is their 2004 go 2004. Release Advance and Vanquish, and then the one that followed that up, 2007, Fire Up the Blades. Yeah, this album, these guys are still pretty good. I don't like these guys as much as when I first got into them, which was around this time that this album came out. Deadly Sinners was a big single, I think. Yeah, I've listened to this in the last couple years, and maybe even last year, and I still like this album quite a bit. Fear on the Bridge, the first track, is awesome. I really enjoy Revenges of Vulture. That's a great track. Yeah, this is a solid record. I wouldn't say it's, you know, my favorite or anything, but I do like it. This one, not as good, but it's pretty solid. I remember liking the Black Spire, or just Black Spire is a great track. Night Marauders is solid. Forest King, I remember they played that one live. I actually went to a concert with them, Cradle of Filth, and then 69 Eyes, who I wasn't aware of 69 Eyes prior. I wasn't familiar with 69 Eyes prior to that show. But 3 Inches of Blood was good, and Cradle of Filth was good. But anyway, overall point was they played Forest King prior to the release of this album, and so that was kind of cool. But yeah, they had an album that came out before this one called, I can't remember. And then they had some ones after this that were kind of meh. I didn't really care for those ones. But these ones are pretty solid. If you're into traditional heavy metal, I really do recommend checking out this one. I always enjoyed the falsetto, scratchy vocals by Cam Pipes or whatever his name is, and then mixed with the more metalcore style vocals from Hooper. Yeah, Jamie Hooper. I wanted to say Toby, but that's the rest in peace. Toby Hooper directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just died. But yeah, enough rambling about 3 Inches of Blood. I'm sure you probably know of them at least a little bit. Alright, next up is, I guess I would say an electronic pop artist. This is 303. Around the time that I was first getting into pop music, a friend of mine also, she was also we were starting to sort of get into pop music sort of together, and so we were always bouncing artists off each other, and this is one that she recommended to me. It's kind of, yeah, the music is very, you know, electronic music, I would say, with a definite pop edge to it. And then the vocals, it's just two guys. It's kind of, I don't know, like bro yelling, I guess I would say maybe. We both really like the song, I'm Not Your Boyfriend, Baby. We liked that one. I don't know, this was okay. It wasn't my favorite, but it was, you know, it was good for a house party or something. They had an album after this that also was, you know, fairly decent if compared to this one. I never got around to picking it up though. This came out in 2008. They're out of Colorado or something like that, I believe. Yeah, this album's called Want. But yeah, 303. Next up, this is the I think it's the debut album from 30 Seconds to Mars. This is, if you're not familiar with this band, this is the band of actor Jared Leto. This came out in like 2002, I believe. I remember picking it up at Target on their, I don't know if they still do it, they used to have like a hot end cap little thing they did. They used to grab stuff from there all the time, try it out, because they were usually like $7.99, $8.99, $9.99 within my price range at that time. Yeah, I mean, this was nothing super great. I do remember that on the very first mix CD that I ever made for my wife, the song Buddha for Mary was on there. I do remember that was my favorite song on here. Also, just interesting to note from that same mix CD that I gave my wife was the song, I can't remember what the title was, but it was the first single off of the Stone Sour debut album, which has Corey Taylor of Slipknot on it. It was a, you know, it was a very somber sing song. I remember her texting me and saying, "Oh, I like the song." It was funny to text back to say, "Haha, you like a song from the guy from Slipknot." I remember saving that text for forever. But yeah, so 30 Seconds to Mars. I don't know, I haven't listened to this album in forever. But yeah. It must be self-titled. Yeah, self-titled. Next up is a band I certainly got into because they're a Roadrunner band. 36 Crazyfists. They're kind of a melodic metalcore band out of from Anchorage, Alaska. Shout out to Alaska. This album is called Bitterness to Star. It came out in 2002. This one is called A Snow-Capped Romance. This one came out. I think this one came out in 2003. Even though in the back of mine says 2004. I remember that this CD came out in the U.S. later for some reason. But I don't know, maybe I'm making mine up. But yeah, I listened to this one a little bit, a couple tracks off of this one yesterday, just to kind of remind myself, because I had listened to this stuff in at least a decade. I don't know. It certainly is, I sort of in my head beforehand had categorized them along with Killswitch Engage, but these guys aren't as guitar-y as Killswitch Engage. I definitely feel like I listen to these guys because of the kind of the emotive, semi-whiny vocals. But I don't know. These were okay. I remember liking this one pretty significantly when I got it. This one was okay, but not as good. But this isn't necessarily anything I would listen to a lot these days, though it certainly wasn't bad. But yeah, Bitterness to Star and A Snow-Capped Romance from 36 Crazyfists, probably a reference to the film, The 36 Crazyfists. Yeah. Alright, and then last two, again from the same artist. This is a band that one of my best friends in high school, this is her favorite band. And so I sort of had been semi-aware of them, but because hanging out with her all the time, I became more aware of them, and that is 311. I have this isn't their debut. I think they have, I want to say, 2 or 3 albums before this one, but this is the one they got big on with their song Down, self-titled, and then I picked up the album that came out while we were friends in high school, around the time we were friends in high school. We're still friends. This is a Soundsystem. This one had singles Come Original that I liked. I listened to some of the songs on this one. I listened to Freeze Time, Come Original, and Livin' and Rockin'. I remember those being my 3 favorite from the album. You know, if you're aware of 311, they're kind of alternative rock. I suppose they mix in some reggae. I'm not deep enough in the reggae genre to even remotely tell you if that's accurate or not, but they certainly present themselves as infusing some reggae. I do know that they cover a song by the Bad Brains on this album. I believe it is Leaving Babylon, based on guessing on the back. Yeah, Leaving Babylon is a Bad Brains cover. I remember back in high school, I remember knowing that, but never really knew who the Bad Brains were, and still really don't. But I'm, sort of more aware of who they are. But yeah, again, 311, not a band I really listen to a whole lot these days, but definitely a band that brings me back memories. I remember I picked this one up at I don't know if it's a chain or if it's just a local chain, half-price books for like $1 or something like that. I picked this up. But yeah, self-titled in Soundsystem, 311. Alright, that wasn't so bad. Numbers are done. I'm kind of feeling like I'm on a roll. I might just do the next video like right now. So let's see if that happens. But otherwise, I hope you're having a good Labor Day. If you're off, if you're not and you are working, that's lame because Labor Day is about people like you who are working on days like Labor Day. So I apologize to you. I remember those days of working on Labor Day. But I'm happy to have gotten the day off. And if you are lucky like me and also have the day off, I hope that you have a good one. Or if you're watching this afterward, I hope that you had a great one. But, yep, enough rambling. Have a good day.